Yesterday, we told you all about Dave Filoni taking over as the creative lead at the very, very tippy top of Star Wars and Lucasfilm. Kathleen Kennedy no longer in charge of the creative side of things. We hope we provided you with insight. We gave you some understanding beyond what other outlets are doing. Today, we're going to do the same with the Rey Movie. But in order to get there, folks, we're here to tell you that the drama behind the scenes at Disney and Lucasfilm is tied into the current box office, if you can believe it. And not only that, but Disney is now outright admitting in filings with the SEC for investors that they sort of know they're in the culture war and they don't like it. Hello, folks. Welcome back and happy Thanksgiving to each and every one of you out there. It is a wonderful day. We hope you are spending it with family and friends. Thank you so much for inviting us into your homes, into your cars, and wherever you might be today. We hope to do better than that glorious popping of the Barney balloon from years ago where the children cried and Macy's had to figure out a different plan for how they're going to handle those things. We here are going to rise instead, just like you expect us to do each and every day. We've not yet had the turkey, so we're not slumbering. This out of Deadline by Anthony D'Alessandro and updated just this morning or very late last night. Wish looks to be the star of Thanksgiving with $40 to $45 million 5-day. We're going to tell you a few things about that. We can skip all the rest. This is what we need, though, folks, because we're going to try to explain what's going on with drama behind the scenes at Lucasfilm. And before we can get to it, I just have to explain this to you. You'll understand at the end of the video. Hang tight. Enjoy. The Thanksgiving stretch will see the most amount of movie going for this fall after being slowed down by the actor strike. Now, that is a throwaway sentence to lead off with. I like Anthony D'Alessandro, but everybody knows that Thanksgiving week is the biggest week for movies in fall because kids are out of school. That's it. That's the only reason. Currently, the top 5 movie standings in terms of grosses are looking better than that of the top 5 of 2021. Our first holiday back post-pandemic, which for all titles grossed $142 million per Box Office Mojo. Why are they skipping 2022? There's a reason. Last Thanksgiving's Wednesday through Sunday stretch grossed $134 for all movies. Now, why was that, folks? Strange world. In other words, what Anthony D'Alessandro is showing right here, and starting with 2021 and then walking forward, he's showing that movies have been on the decline. And guess who's in charge of that? Disney. The reason that we didn't see a significant rebound, I mean, remember, 2021 was straight out of the pandemic. Movie theaters were struggling. Surely we should be at a rebound. Well, Thanksgiving week last week was crushed by a lackluster, Strange World Disney animated film. What about this one, though? Well, here's what we've got. Disney Animation's princess movie, Wish, from Frozen franchise director Chris Buck and Fawn Verisonthorn is leading with an $8.7 million Wednesday. That's including $2.3 million in previews. And what's not told to you explicitly, folks, is baked into that, apparently, is $500,000 taken from a Saturday sneak peek at theaters, very exclusive. And we're not really sure how those tickets were picked up or distributed or anything. We don't know if they were gifted. It's very odd. You don't see that. A Saturday sneak peek totaling $500,000. Very odd. They say that's going to translate to $24 to $27 million for the 3-day and $40 to $45 million for the 5-day. Now, it also goes on to say Rotten Tomatoes audience score at 84% trumps critic score, which is 46%. Don't forget, folks, that the top critic score is much lower. And if you get off a verified audience so that just anybody can actually vote, well, it turns out that the audience score is lower as well. Now, here's where things get tricky. The trickiness here is that if you look at the 3-day for Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which, by the way, didn't get a Saturday sneak peek calculated into this, their Saturday isn't counted in this 3-day. They're 25 to 31. Take a look. Go back up here to Wish now, 24 to 27. Yes, it does look like Hunger Games is going to beat, as of right now, Wish in the opening 3 days, which is crazy. An opening movie from Disney animated is going to lose to Hunger Games? Oh my gosh. Well, it could actually get worse because what we find out, of course, is that Tracking for Wish spotted a 45 to 50 million 5-day win to Napoleon's 22. But what isn't told in there is that Hunger Games could actually beat Wish this week. Hunger Games might take the number one spot. We don't know yet, but Hunger Games could take the top spot, and that would be incredible because Hunger Games did not open well. Now, why does this matter for Star Wars? You clicked on this for Star Wars. You clicked on this for Dave Filoni. You clicked on this for the Rey movie. What in the world does any of this have to do with anything? Well, it has everything to do with Star Wars. And by that, I mean Disney is missing its box office badly. Badly. Wish is supposed to be their triumphant return. It's not. And Disney is getting very squeamish about budgets and expenditures and all of that. I want to go now to this article, this out of thatparkplace.com by John Trent, the new editor-in-chief over there at the website. The Walt Disney Company admits that consumers' positions on Disney environmental and social goals often differ widely and present risks to our reputation and brands. This came out with the SEC filing that Disney did in just the last couple of days. And this is the first time that I know of that we have seen Disney outright admit to investors that they are involved in the cultural divisiveness that exists in society right now and that it's dangerous to them. This is the first time Disney is admitting we have a problem. Now, Disney's not saying they're going to change. They're not saying they're going to change course, but they're admitting that they're involved in the cultural divide. The Walt Disney Company admitted that their environmental and social goals differ widely between the actual consumers and that this gulf has created a business risk to the company's reputation and brands. Now, why would they admit this, folks? They admitted it because they have to cover themselves legally. And the other thing about this, too, is they bury it, of course, in a massive SEC filing, a Form 10-K, that they don't expect people to read or know about. It's just too bad we actually cover this sort of thing. The company outlines a number of risk factors it is facing. One of the bullet points in this section states, we face risks relating to misalignment with public and consumer tastes. Pause, folks. Let's say it again. If you ever wanted to see Disney admit that they have a Star Wars, Marvel, animation, etc. problem, this is it. It's not stated the way you would state it because it's stated the way a corporation would say it if they needed to admit it without coming right out and saying it in a blunt way. We face risks relating to misalignment with public and consumer tastes and preferences for entertainment, travel, and consumer products, which impact demand for our entertainment offerings and products and the profitability of any of our businesses. Underneath the bullet point, the company states, our businesses create entertainment, travel, and consumer products whose success depends substantially on consumer tastes and preferences that change in often unpredictable ways. Translation, we didn't see this coming. We thought the grand revolution was on the way and everyone was going to become leftists. The success of our businesses depends on our ability to consistently create compelling content. Translation again, folks. If we don't succeed at the box office, we're going to have big problems throughout the entire rest of the company. Remember, we've called it the heart of the company. It's not the biggest organ, but it does drive the lifeblood to everything else. They have to make stuff that's new that people care about, which may be distributed, among other ways, through broadcast, cable, theaters, internet, or mobile technology, and used in theme park attractions, hotels, and other resort facilities, and travel experiences and consumer products. It goes on to talk about all of this. Now, again, this is straight out of a Disney SEC filing. They know they're in a bad place. They are admitting to the world, although buried deep and unlikely to be covered by almost anybody. Disney is admitting we're misaligned with consumers. We face grave threats from the fact that we're involved in cultural stuff. The article is wonderful. I highly recommend that you all go check this out from thatparkplace.com. I do want to highlight this last part. For those of you out there who say, oh, come on, Pro, they recognize that they're misaligned, but they're not saying anything about cultural issues. Oh, yes, they are. The company conceded further. Consumers' perceptions of our position on matters of public interest, including our efforts to achieve certain of our environmental and social goals, often differ widely and present risks to our reputation and brands. Why is an entertainment company for children? Why do they have social goals? Do you, by any chance, when you go to Lowe's or Home Depot or Ace Hardware or any of those other places, do you think they're at risk because of their social goals, or do you think they just want to sell you a hammer? I think they just want to sell you a hammer. At least if they have any sense in their head, they do. When you go to Hobby Lobby or you go to Michael's or any of those other crafty places, you just want to buy the craft. When you go to Wally World or Costco, I don't know, maybe you have a Kmart still hanging around with a blue light special. You just want to get the thing and get out. And with Disney, you just want timeless content. Stories that you can trust to put your children in front of them and walk away and not worry. And Disney, apparently, they're admitting they have environmental, social goals. And, well, they must not be wildly applauded because they're saying that these social goals present a risk to their reputation and brands. What kind of meager, neutral, totally positive goal would put you at risk with your consumers? What a bizarre thing. It's also bizarre that they don't say, and by the way, we're going to get away from this. You know what else they're not going to get away from? Is this. Folks, we promised it. We got to it. You needed to know all of that. I really apologize if you knew all that already. It's hard to. We have so many new people joining the channel and watching videos for the very first time, and we got to go through it. We got to set the table. Here's the big news, I suppose. Daisy Ridley teases new Star Wars film. It's not what I expected. This came out on Thanksgiving morning. Elise Schaefer is the author here. Let's read, and then I'm going to tell you what the source that gave us the information yesterday has to say about it. Daisy Ridley is gearing up to reprise her role as Rey in a new Star Wars film and has revealed the storyline is not what I expected. In an interview with Collider, Ridley reminisced about her surprise appearance at London Star Wars Celebration in April, where it was announced that Rey will be the focus of the first Star Wars feature film since 2019's The Rise of Skywalker. And again, folks, on this channel, we've told you before, this will come out before the Mandoverse movie, which means we got it right again. I was pooping myself before I went on stage. Oh, Daisy, so lovely in your verbiage. Because no one knew I was going to that. No one knew I was going to Celebration bar like Kathy, and there were a couple of people, Ridley told Collider. I was so nervous. Oh my God, it was such a wonderful reception. Folks, if you've watched this channel, we have some bad news for Daisy Ridley. You already know this. We called this a month in advance. We told in a very long, almost 1 hour video with Echo Based Network and Lauren Connor as guests on the channel, and Valiant Renegade hidden in the backstage eating popcorn because he knew that I was going to tell the EBN folks what I was. We told everyone that Daisy Ridley was returning to the Rey movie, that the Rey movie was coming, and that Daisy Ridley would be at Celebration. We knew that. You knew that. Keeping you ahead of the culture curve. It's what we do. Daisy doesn't know we knew that, though. As for the plot of the new film, Ridley teased, I'm very excited. The story is really cool. I'm waiting to read a script because obviously I don't have any other updates. It's not what I expected, but I'm very excited. There have been people out there who've told you that there is no Rey movie coming, that this is not going to happen, that there's a Lucasfilm civil war and all of that. All I can tell you is we hope here that we've proven a track record that you can trust. And I would say, too, on top of that, to add to what the connective tissue is for all of this, going from the Wish box office being bad again after the Marvels and Indiana Jones and Haunted Mansion. I mean, we could go through the list of just incredible flops the Disney company has had. They've changed the top 10 flops of all time this year. They've put 5 worst flops of all time on the top 10 list and kicked 5 out. Disney's had a bad year. Box office not going well. Losing hundreds of millions of dollars on, well, most of their films this year. Then we've got the admittal from Disney that, hey, we're on the wrong side of this culture war. And here's Daisy Ridley talking about Star Wars. We all sort of know that The Last Jedi was a major turning point for Disney. And they're not turning away from that. And you should know that. But behind the scenes, according to my source that gave us the information yesterday, and by the way, had a major role in us knowing about the Daisy Ridley Rey movie before, well, they intended for us to know it, and then we shared it with you. Here's what's going on, according to them, speculation and rumor territory here, folks, because I can't corroborate this, and this comes from one individual. But what I'm told is that there is a budget issue behind the scenes. The budget issue is that Lucasfilm allegedly wants more north of $200 million for the Rey movie to make it, to do the right thing. It's a Star Wars movie, remember? It needs a budget. Walt Disney Company, apparently after seeing so many of their movies fail so badly, they're feeling pretty squeamish about that budget. And that may go back to that statement out of the SEC filing. See, I promised you I'd tell you exactly how those things connect. Apparently, Disney is looking for something more in the range of 175. They'd love it if it was even lower. That's not something that Lucasfilm wants, but they do have now Dave Filoni at the helm, and Dave Filoni seems to be the yes men of yes men. He will do what Disney wants. Will Kathleen Kennedy push for anything? Well, allegedly, Kathleen Kennedy is pushing for something, and that is to get the show on the road. She allegedly is in a very big hurry to get this movie into full-on production. That includes trying to reserve locations very fast out of the strike, as well as getting everything tucked away and done and put into place, contract signed, etc. They want to move fast. Still, I am told not to expect this film out until at the very earliest, late 2025, but almost assuredly 2026. And that means that even when this comes out, it will still have been basically a decade since Disney made money with Star Wars. Folks, that is the video for today. If you enjoyed it, click the like button, share, subscribe, and when you click it, you stick it to the algorithms. It's the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. We covet your comments. We care about what you think. And happy Thanksgiving to each and every one of you out there. I am thankful for you. I am thankful for you watching these videos and for partaking in all of this with us. You may not be aware, but Jonas J. Campbell, investigative reporter for ThatParkPlace.com, was recently followed by Hugh Johnston, the CFO of the Walt Disney Company, essentially the number two man at the Disney Company. I guess he forgot that he wasn't on his burner account. He followed Jonas, and we've got the evidence, of course. Folks, you're making a real difference. When the CFO of Disney is following the folks who work with us on this team and listening to these videos, we assume, well, we think that we've got the megaphone in the right place. And we're not here to destroy Disney. We're here to help it turn around and get back to the middle, back to neutral ground, back where it can be a place of peace for people to come together and watch movies and have fun, because we need some connective tissue in society to save us from the right and left going at it everywhere all the time. There must be a place of neutral ground for us to have shared experiences, lest we tear at each other. All I hope for you today is that you're tearing at a turkey, some stuffing, some dressing, some mashed potatoes, whatever it is, folks. Have a wonderful day. Wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
Oh.
What are you doing?
Well, you see, I wanted to get some inside scoops on Disney and their different corporations, if you know what I mean. So I figured by looking into this fistbowl and sucking it randomly with my own energy that I pay for, you paid for, I could do the whole experience where you can be a master and spy on your targets.
You're an idiot. If you want to get the inside scoop on Disney, or even other media organizations, you should check out ThatParkPlace.com and subscribe to WDW Pro's YouTube channel. That'd be way easier, more accurate, and, less dumb.
Are you saying I won't get accurate information this way?
No, you can't.
Who'd have thunk?